Welcome to Moe'S CD Culture Show and Tell. This is a video series that I'm starting to highlight my feelings and opinions about the culture and my love for CDs, also known as compact discs. I own over 500 compact discs, and it took me over 12 years to collect them. I like getting a CD every 2 weeks or so, and I wanted to start the series with the most obscure album that I have on CD. If you don't know about it, it's called The Electric Lucifer. And this is it, right here. Now, how this had come into our household, it was in our household when I was a kid, as an LP, okay? We don't know where it came from. My dad doesn't know where it came from. I thought maybe my uncle had brought it into the household. It wasn't from him. And for the longest time, I only knew the title, The Electric Lucifer. It's not until maybe in my late 30s that I looked into this album and found out that it was by a guy named Bruce Hack, who, which I will get into, did children's music albums, for children, with a Miss Nelson. And I was so amazed, okay, when I went to Frank's Music here in Moncton, and Carl, the proprietor, when he told me he could get this on CD, it blew my mind. It blew my mind. I wasn't expecting to get this on CD, ever. Like, are you kidding me? This is in 2014, 2014. And I go in and I talk. I go in and I say, yeah, I would love. I was talking about this album. Something I thought was obscure, something I would never see on CD. But thank goodness the Omni Recording Corporation saved it from the vault. Found it in a vault or in somewhere, and remastered the album, and now we have what it's called The Electric Lucifer. And I have it on CD. Amazing. Amazing. I would never have thought in a million years I would get this. This is crazy. But now, I still love it. It's the holy grail of my CDs. Just because I would never expected it. I never would. No. But now I have it, and it's one of my favorite possessions. In my top 5 favorite possessions of all time, because it's just so different. It's done with the Moog synthesizer. It was like at the time of his pioneering. This was done in like 1970. So as an album of electronic music, basically, because he built his own synthesizer. He built his own instruments to make this album. I mean, this is his breakthrough album from doing his children's album. He was doing children's album with Miss Nelson, and then decided to make this album, which is, it's misleading. You see the word Lucifer and you think, oh, it's evil, it's devil. I thought it was some weird, it's like it was so contradictory, because it's such a loving album, and such a friendly album in some ways, weird, spooky in some, but it's not your average music. You just can't put this down and tap your toes to it like any other kind of music. This is like a deep listening type of music. It's something that it soothes my soul. It makes me happy. I try to play it at least once a year, just to get my money's worth out of it, because I love having it. I mean, this was an alternative cover, okay, of it, but we had this cover, we had that album cover, just like, look at that, look at the mystery of that. I mean, isn't that such a captivating cover that just, I would look at this for hours sometimes, just trying, studying it and looking at the detail and trying to figure out, with the message of the of the album and everything, what it stands for. But you know, it's this album goes through a process called power love. That's the whole theme of this album, is power love. It's the story of how Lucifer is a fallen angel. He's not, but in this story, he's not a bad guy. He's actually just kind of a misguided angel. You know, he's not the bad guy. And this album is about releasing a power called power love. And yeah, if you haven't heard of it, you should check into it. But he made a part 2 to this album, which I was able to get, also called Bruce Hack, Electric Lucifer, Book 2. See that there? Yeah. Book 2. That's him in the middle there. That's Bruce. So, yeah, like for almost 40 years, I didn't even know the name of the guy who did the Electric Lucifer. So yeah, as I was saying, you know, and this is actually, I like this better. This actually, I like this better than the Electric Lucifer, and I try to play all of these once a year, you know, because I mean I like the catchiness of the tunes. Has some. It's not bass like a bass guitar, but the bass notes in the songs are super catchy and really weird. And, you know, as catchy as Pussifer beats, because Pussifer beats Pussifer, you know, can be kind of wacky beats too that I really love. So this is pretty good too. I really love it. But as I was saying before, Bruce Hack started off doing children's albums. This was the latest edition in the collection, but I wanted to mention it now because it's for a children's album, and this is in the 60s, probably the mid-60s that this album came out. So yeah, it's actually designed for children to get them up and moving and playing, and Bruce Hack is doing his weird electronic music, his weird, you know, and experimental music at the time, but designed for kids. Also, Bruce Hack did commercials too. He did jingles and stuff for commercials in the 60s and 70s. So yeah, this is the only children's album I have, by the way. You know, just because it's, you know, Miss Nelson and Bruce Hack. You know, and this is the very first album they did for the children. There's others. I don't have others. But if I could, I would try to get more in the collection. Yeah, a children's album. But I was also able to get Hush Little Robot, which is kind of a compilation, you know, and it has stuff from the Electric Lucifer in it, the first one. It also has stuff from other of the children's albums, like some of the more hipper stuff that I don't have. So this is a cool little collection that has odds and ends, and you know, and it's it's not as good because again there's some children's stuff in it, but I like having it just because it's part of the, you know, it's part of the collection. But it's still good music. You'll still put it on, and you'll find something to tap your toes. But like I say, it's not it's not like putting on Toto or Supertramp or Def Leppard or any. I'm just going random there, but any band, you know, it is what it is. But then, you know, and this is the last album I have of Bruce Hack, and this album was banned, you know, for a while because to go from this to Hackula, and if you know about Hackula, this album was basically Bruce Hack's FU to the music industry and to you know, corporations and those who you know, try to minimize it and take advantage of his talent, you know, because you know, he was trying to do some weird stuff. So they didn't even release this album for a while. They kind of released a weird, boiled down, safer, more PG version of this album called Bite, which I don't have, which I would love to get because it's a different version of this. It has some different songs and different, but it's a different arrangement of this. Safer, it doesn't have some of the more controversial songs, which this does. I'm not going to go through the name list because, like I said, there's a few controversial titles. But yeah, this is basically his his FU to the music industry, but this also has the distinction of having his final song he produced, his very last song that he ever created, called Party Machine, which is in a way is, I would consider it the birth of techno, because it's the perfect sampling song. You could use it you could use that song to sample so much of it, because it's so straightforward and so clean sounding too at the same time. This is a controversial album when it came out, and I love it. I love it just as much as I love these two are my favorite albums because they're so wild and the beats are just I don't know, mesmerizing. So that's that for Bruce Hack, which but there's a bonus for you here. Because of the Bruce Hack, one day I was listening to some Bruce Hack, some stuff I didn't have on YouTube, and I had the autoplay on, so it would play what was next. Okay, I don't usually put autoplay on, and I was kind of half asleep listening to the Bruce Hack, and then something came on, and the music was just so wacky and weird, and also very familiar because it sounded a little Bruce Hackish, but not at all. And I was able to get the CD because as soon as I heard it, I went to Frank's Music and asked them if I could order this, and sure enough, what I wanted to get was something was called the Electric. And don't make fun of the name. I know it's a weird sounding name. I don't think it's his real name. I think it's his stage name. But it's called the Electric Eclectics of Dick Hyman. Well, I ordered it and got this. Dick Hyman Moon Gas. And at first I was like, I didn't want that. I wanted the electric eclectic of it. It has both. So there's the cover. That's the cover I was looking for. It's only when I opened it up and I saw it, it's like, oh, it does have it. So only the first 12 songs is Moon Gas, which I really love it. I love Moon Gas, and the rest of it also has the Electric Eclectics of Dick Hyman, and plus an extra 2 songs from another album. So it's basically 3 albums in one. So this is cool. And why I bring this up as part of this collection, because this is also released by the same group that released the Bruce Hack stuff, the Omni Recording Corporation, and it's brilliant. I love this. I love this album. And a lot of people would I know a lot of people, a lot of metalheads, a lot of classic rockers and stuff would turn their nose up at this. How could you like this stuff? It's why you like what you like is depending on where you were at the time, what you were feeling, how it hit you, the inspiration of did it surprise you, did it So for me to fall into something like this, which is also done with the Moog synthesizer, which is why it's related to the Bruce Hack, and this is even though it's not the same artist, it's still a part of that same genre and collection, because it's very, very closely related to the Bruce Hack stuff, because And when you hear people talk about the birth of electronica and the Moog synthesizer, they often leave out Dick Hyman and Bruce Hack, and I think that's I think that's injustice, because they deserve so much credit for what for, especially for me, the Bruce Hack. And from what I started learning about Bruce Hack, yeah, it's some fantastic stuff. So anyway, I'm going to try to leave some stuff from YouTube, more about Bruce Hack, in the description below. So please check that out. This is all, yeah, this is what I'm going to say for now. It just, yeah, this is the series I'm starting, where I have, like I said, over 500 CDs. I'm going to go through much of them. And I wanted to start, I say, like I said, with some of the most obscure music that I own on CD. You could check it out for yourself. I'll leave I'll leave some links to some of the albums on YouTube, and a little documentary if you're interested. I really urge you to check it out. It's interesting. It's different. It's nothing you've ever heard before, and don't expect it to be like your average type of music. It's experimental Moog synthesizer stuff from the 60s and 70s. So go into it with an open mind, and I swear, if you do, and no expectations, you might love it. I mean, I like, you think of, okay, I'll make a distinction. Look at it. You look at the new music today, like the new Star Trek is today, all flashy and special effects and everything. This stuff is like the classic Star Trek. It's like the old Captain Kirk Star Trek. This is what this stuff is like. You don't have, you got the slick movies now. You got the slick, you had the Next Generation, but this is the classic Trek, basically. It's just a weird analogy, but if you listen to it, you'll understand what I mean. Especially the moon gas. The moon gas is so Star Trek-ish. It is phenomenal. All right, so please, if you can, subscribe to me. It'd be nice to have a few more subscribers. Press like. That always helps. So hopefully it'll reach more people, and share it with other people, who are not aware of Bruce Hack, once you discover it for yourself. So that's all for me. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you on the flip side. Bye.